What if I told you that Montreal, hailed as a cycling utopia, has some of the most dangerous intersections in the entire city? It's a paradox that screams of progress clashing with practicality. Montreal's cycling infrastructure is often praised as a model for North America, but the reality for riders is far messier. I mean, how do you reconcile a city with a bustling bike path network and a record number of collisions at specific intersections? Let me break this down, because the story here isn't just about bad drivers, it's about systemic design flaws, human behavior, and the tension between urban growth and safety. Take the St-Denis and Villeneuve intersection in the Plateau. This spot alone had 14 collisions between 2023 and 2025, making it the city's most dangerous. Why? Because it's a collision of chaos, two closely spaced intersections, a light-controlled crosswalk, and a right turn lane that slices across one of Montreal's busiest bike paths. From my perspective, this isn't just a traffic engineering problem, it's a psychological one. Drivers are taught to yield to pedestrians, but cyclists? They're treated like an afterthought. What makes this really interesting is the proximity of the two intersections. It's like giving someone a knife and a glass of wine and then asking them not to spill anything. The human factor here is massive. Even with signs and bollards, drivers still seem to forget that a cyclist isn't a magical being who can teleport out of their way. Then there's Côte-Sainte-Catherine and Beloeil, where a bidirectional bike path becomes a death trap for left-turning cars. The slope here adds another layer of danger. Cyclists might be going faster, and drivers are suddenly faced with a decision that's both high speed and high stakes. I've seen this pattern before in cities that prioritize car flow over cyclist safety. What many people don't realize is that when you have a bike path that's used by thousands daily, you're creating a situation where even minor design flaws can lead to major consequences. The mayor's office claims they're working on fixes, but honestly, it feels like they're playing catch-up with a problem that's already spilled over into the headlines. Let's talk about the St-Denis intersection, where three directions of traffic and three bike routes converge. This is a textbook example of poor intersection design. Cyclists are thrown into traffic at high speeds, then forced to navigate tight turns while drivers try to make right-hand turns. Vélo Quebec has been screaming about this for years, yet the city insists it's safe. That's not just dismissive, it's dangerous. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about infrastructure. It's about accountability. When officials say an intersection is safe despite years of complaints, what does that say about their commitment to cyclist safety? It's a PR nightmare waiting to happen. And then there's the Rachel Street bike path, where drivers and cyclists are locked in a daily dance of frustration. Nicolas Marcourt, a local dad who uses the path daily, points out that the more people use it, the less safe it becomes. That's a critical insight. He wants it split into two unidirectional paths, which makes sense because visibility is everything. When cyclists are coming from both directions, it's a recipe for disaster. Magali Babron from Vélo Quebec says drivers avoid Rachel at all costs because it's a maze of oncoming traffic, pedestrians, and cyclists. That's not just inconvenient, it's a ticking time bomb. Now, let's zoom out. Safe Mobility's data is eye-opening. 4,000 intersections in Montreal are deemed very hazardous, with 6,100 more that could result in fatalities. This isn't just about fixing a few problem spots, it's about rethinking the entire approach to urban mobility. The current system waits for tragedies to occur before acting, which is absurd. We're talking about predictive analytics here, not just reactive fixes. Owen Waygood's team has the tools to prevent disasters, but will the city listen? That's the real question. And let's not forget the human cost. Over the past 5 years, 665 cyclist collisions occurred annually, with 2 fatalities each year. In 2025 alone, 2 cyclists lost their lives, one on Park Avenue, a place where 13 people have died in 13 years. That's not just statistics. That's real people. The SAAQ says the death toll is relatively positive, but that's cold comfort when you're looking at grieving families. The city's new bike plan is coming, but will it address the root issues or just tweak the symptoms? Here's what I think. Montreal's cycling future hinges on a cultural shift. It's not just about painting lines on the road or installing bollards. It's about changing how drivers see cyclists, not as obstacles, but as equal road users. Until that happens, the most dangerous intersections won't just be physical places, they'll be symbols of a city that's still learning to ride in harmony with its people.